Alright, today is Saturday, September 15th, and I am at Sand Dunes National Park by Alamosa, Colorado. It's about a 3.5-hour drive just outside of the Denver metro, and I've backpacked and camped all over Colorado. This is definitely the most unique landscape that I've ever seen. What am I talking about? Right here in front of me. That's unreal. So I'm already starting out about 8,400 feet of elevation, and the dunes gain about another 800 at max right here. So this is not the kind of hike where it's a ton of elevation and all that. Literally, it's you're walking on the sand. 62 degrees right now. High temp here is supposed to be 72, but the ranger is telling me the sand itself can get 40 degrees hotter. So it'll be over 100. So I'm kind of adjacent to the sand, but I'm going about 7 miles in to Aspen Creek area. I was the third person in line today for a permit, but I guess a lot of people came in yesterday. So if you look behind me, there is no truly reliable water in the spring. I guess there's a spring over here called Medano Creek, but not running now. So I packed it in. I'm going to try to locate some as I go through my hike, but that's kind of what makes it interesting. This is also a very spontaneous trip. I packed last night at 8 p.m. and said, you know what, I'm going to go. So not a bad drive. Again, 3.5 hours or so to get here, but very, very cool. Packed visitor center. Again, great bluebird weather day. So I'll check in once I actually get to my trailhead. All right, so I made a quick pit stop back at the car, looking for my do-rag, and it's probably packed somewhere, so oh well. So I'm only about 20 minutes from the car, but right now I'm on a trail literally to get to the trail. But it's definitely a very sandy surface. As you're walking, you're always kicking stuff up. That's why I wore the high top boots today, just because it is sand. But it reminds me of a beach, not where the waves are coming in, but rather the area that's never gets wet. So not gonna be a fast going on the hike, but nice smooth surface. All right, so it's a lot of ups and downs too so far, but again, just kind of a general 360. The dunes behind me. So literally as you're driving in, it's way over there, all of a sudden these just, boom, they popping up here. So this area of Colorado has a lot of hunting, excursions, expeditions, etc. So even driving in, you saw outfitters and people getting ready. So definitely a cool area. All right, so once I actually get to the trailhead, I'll probably check in again. All right, so I'm now on the open trail. So literally over here, there's car camping. So that's why you'll see some people. I can see a couple groups that will car camp and go out and do the dunes. And talking to the ranger, there's two major dunes. I think it's Star and High. It's about 800 feet. But it takes 3 hours to do one, and the other one's like 6. So it's a major excursion to do it. And I can tell you, walking on the sand, you can see prints. And every time I walk, I kick it up. It's slow going, but obviously it's good on the joints, knees, etc. Definitely slow going, and it's hot. So it's only like what, 62, but you can definitely feel the heat coming from the sand. So as I am going this direction toward the big mountain, navigation's not really an issue. I guess there's a couple turns here or there once you really get into it, but dunes are on the left. Keep on rolling. So I'm now at the base of the dunes, not the highest ones, but literally when you're right up next to them, it's quite an incline. So every step it feels like the front of my boot is a shovel. Dirt will pop up, sand, and it's slow going, but wow, it's only a little bit after 10:30, and this sand is hot. Yeah, doing this in July, August, in the middle of the day would be wow. Don't describe it. It would be torture almost. You can tell we're at elevation as well because of the leaves. Looks like our aspens are already getting golden. And I believe where I'm going, since I'm getting further away from this, there should be more. But so I'm approaching my first hill area. You can see it looks like there's prints from backpackers yesterday. So it's definitely work. So I don't think this would be the kind of hike where you would try to do 10 miles a day and slam mileage. Rather, just kind of enjoy it. So I think I'm doing again 7 today, and I'm hoping to set up a base camp and then go out and find water stuff. So, all right, gonna keep on trucking along in this direction. All right, so I've been hiking up in the dunes. I just came down from over there, and you can see literally in some spots it's a 70-degree angle wall right there. So I decided to come down into the wash area. So in the spring, this has water, although it's supposed to be only about 6 inches deep, but it's kind of neat. I guess you can hike in it. It's really cold mountain water, obviously, but so still making progress going along with the wash. I think it's going to be a lot easier hiking. I just bumped into 2 guys that asked if I had water, and I was like, yes. They weren't asking for them. They wanted to know if I had it. I was like, I'm good. I got about 80 ounces, and I'm going to try to find some. So, blazing hot. I wore long sleeves just because I didn't want to get sunburned, but it's hard to describe. It's not the air temp. It's literally just bouncing right off the sand and feeding into you. So, again, very, very unique landscape. It's beautiful all the way around you. And yeah, I guess kind of soaking it all in and keep going. All right, so I'm about an hour and 15 minutes into the hike. Just took my first water, trying to preserve that as much as I can. And the topography is changing a little bit. So now the dunes are still here, but you see they're getting more grassy and still very, very tall. But I'm in a wash now. This is the first wash I've been in where the color of the sand is a little darker, meaning at some point it was wet and did have water down here. Tons of animal tracks. Really wouldn't refer to it as a trail, but rather a direction you go. But you can see the deer tracks, so plenty of grass for deer, goats, whatever's out here, and tons of raccoon, coyote, and there's droppings everywhere, and they dry up because of the hot sand. So they're not necessarily very old, but they're all over. So definitely animal life out here, but feels good to be in the shade a little bit. Again, it's not an air temp thing, but rather just the temperature of the sand. So dropping down in the wash is a pretty good idea. So again, the first time the sand has a wet texture to it, it's a little more hard packed. So this is the fastest I've been able to go. But these tracks here don't look like they're too old. Deer got the little V shape. All right, keep on going along, but very, very interesting hike. Cool area to visit. Saw some people earlier. If you car camp here, you can bring toboggans or even skis. You got to work at it to go up the hill, but you can technically sled or ski down. That would be kind of cool to try. All right, so I'm going to keep on going. Maybe get lucky and get some water. All right, so I thought I had it on, but I didn't. But the very top of this hill, a giant coyote saw me, and he came sprinting down. I was literally right over here. There is water over there, and it looked like he was like coming right at me. And I'm like, what the hell? And he then saw me, and he went this way, and I guess had 6 deer that went right across from me right here, and literally like 2 at a time. They were like going and going and going. So obviously he was after them, but I thought I was filming it. It was pretty cool. Oh well, that's why you come out here, right? You get to see interesting stuff like that. But next time I'll make sure the button's on. So if you listen, you might hear a little trickle of water. Looks like about 2 inches in front of me there is water that kind of goes and kind of dies out of there. So that's kind of nice. So probably only about 20 minutes from the big coyote spotting. And unfortunately I thought I was filming and I wasn't, but he literally came within, I don't know, 200 feet of me, took a dead look at me, went that way, and I was like, oh, he didn't want anything to do with me. And then these 6 deer come out, but in different groups. So I think he saw them. So haven't seen anything since then, but it's kind of nice now hiking more in a terrain that's out of the hot sand. Still hot, but definitely manageable in here. Haven't seen any signs or anything so far. So it's kind of weird. You're just going again a general direction, but I'm going to assume, since I'm at the first point of water, within a mile or so I should start to see some of the sights. Mine's still quite further, but kind of interesting to see just what the signage looks like and the general area of the site. So maybe I'll check in once I find one. All right, so I made it to the first site. This is pretty cool. Still has a little bit of fur in the top there, and nice site, nice and shaded, big. This is the only one that has a privy, which I believe is right ahead. But it was for quite a while there, just hiking along. Again, you're going in a general direction. There's really no trail. You kind of feel like this is the right way, but what is just game trail. So this is the first area of semi-civilization I've seen that the spot was reserved today. There's no one here yet. Don't see anything, but looks like the privy's up this way, and it looks like they have a rope where they're probably hanging food for bear in the area. So definitely nice to have a little bit of forested area. So this was the one site area which I believe had the access to water. So if I need to come back this way, I will. But so mine is about 3 miles further, but look at that. There's the privy, and it's got the little bear thing in there. All right, keep marching on. Wow, the animal life here is incredible. That was my 9th deer, so I just set my pack down. Gonna get some water here, chug it, and I just heard loud splashing right through the middle of this creek in front of me. A huge buck just came through here. I mean, he ran right in it and came right up over here. That's the biggest buck I've ever seen. That thing was huge. You could hear him coming, so he must have heard me, knew I was here. So I've been eating pistachios, so I have my GoPro 3 loops in my pack, and when I'm doing that, it's pretty tight so it doesn't fall out. It takes about 15 seconds to get it. So I heard the noise, started getting it out, and oh, gone. So 9 deer, an owl, and a coyote. So I think once I'm done having snacks, I'm gonna have this thing in my hand because the animal life here is really, really cool. So right in front of me is water. I've crossed over it twice. Again, the trail is, not really call it a trail, you just sort of make it up as you go. So I figured it's now just about 2 hours into my hike, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish my water, fill it up, maybe chug it, and then put one more in there. So I got about 3 more miles to my campsite. So again, I passed one so far. So I'm glad there's water here, so I'm gonna fill up. So here's a good example of the trail. It's just game trails with logs and everything thrown over it. It's definitely not fast going. It's still fun hiking it. It's not incredibly challenged, but you know, you just sort of look around. Where's your best point of entry? You take it for a while. I've crossed the stream now probably 10 times. Keep thinking, oh, it's better over here, and then no, and back and forth. But it's only 3 inches deep, so it's not a challenge. But gonna keep moving along. It's definitely getting closer now to 12:30, so middle of the day. It's not as hot in this area. It's definitely cooler than it was in the sand, even though the sun's higher up in the day. So doing good. Fresh new water. Gonna keep drinking it, and I'm probably within 2.5 miles of my site. Although at this pace, it could be 2 hours to get there. We'll see. All right, so I'm still out meandering around, and I don't recall reading about these, but these must be ranger cabins. Don't really see signage or anything on them, but definitely old. Maybe an outhouse over there. One more over here. So last half hour I was totally off trail. I'm just following the stream, and I kind of got to where, man, this can't be right. So I know general direction. So I'm gonna keep on following it, but try a little bit more in the open since it's tough hiking over there. All right, so this is the first shade I've had for a while. Just came out of the wash, so literally I've been following the stream. I've crossed it now probably 20 times. Dried up about a half hour ago. As you see now, it is bone dry. There's nothing in there. So nice thing is I saw this trail. So the whole time you're in there, you don't get a great view of this, but now I'm like, oh, here's an open trail. So I think I'm getting close to, I think there's 2 more sites to go, and then I'm finally there. So this is slow hiking. This is definitely not speed hiking. The ground is it's got a lot of obstacles when you're in there. Sand makes it slow, but it's a very fun and enjoyable hike, and the topography keeps changing. So these yellow flowers that are everywhere popped out last 20 minutes or so. They're definitely full bloom. You can smell them. It smells neat, and great views of the peaks over there in the area. Tall yellow aspen way at the top there. So the dunes are starting to disappear a little bit over there now. But they're still there, so sense of direction is pretty easy. So I'll take a shot when I go to the next site just to see what it looks like. And I may take a little break there and have some water. All right, now at the Trail Junction for Little Medano, which is right over there, probably in the shade. Nice little breeze right here. It's still hot, but so I believe I have 1 more to go, and it should be less than 1 mile. So I'm gonna make one final push. It's amazing, you stand on that sand, it's hot, but up here, not as bad. So keep on pushing on and get there. Alright, check it out. So I'm at probably the lowest point right now. Look at that. Running water. A couple inches deep. That will work. So here's where I can get my water. The bad news is, well, I gotta go up there. I really hope this site that's supposed to be by aspens and have some shade, so we'll see. But I still have a ways to go to get there, but it's good to know that within hopefully 3/4 of a mile of it, we've got water. You can see the sand fleas are everywhere. So when you do stuff, they're all over you, like me right now. So, all right, time to get rolling again. But I think I'm within 20 minutes of my site. So I'm now looking at the back side of the dune. So this is the back side. So again, the trail is way over there, and then on the other side, literally the trail I did went over here, around and up to here. So about a minute ago, I'm like, where the hell are these aspen trees at? I think right in front of me, and I see a post up there. So hopefully I'll be there in 10 minutes. The toughest part of this entire hike has been the last 20 minutes because it was all exposed sand and now more in the grass. So I'm almost there. Definitely nice views up here. We get back into the dune field. A lot of people don't probably see this. The bad news, you can see aspens over there. I think I overshot the turn. I'm just not seeing any other groves up here, so I'm gonna turn back and head over there. Oh well, it happens. I just came from the big aspen field up there and decided that's not the site. I've honestly gone all over and looked for it, couldn't do it, so I'm gonna do the next best thing and stay out within the dune area. 20 permits for that. So I'm at least gonna head back in the direction of water and where I'll be going tomorrow. So somewhere in this grove of trees over here, spot where it's legal, and set up camp. It's about 2:45, so hopefully within a half hour I'll have a camp. All right, so it's 5:45 in the evening, and I just ate, and took me a half hour to get down here, but this is the only water source there is. So again, there's not a lot to it, but it is water, so it's make it worth my while. So I've got my both water bottles that I purified filled up, so tomorrow I'll have 50 ounces on my hike. I have a 50-ounce bag back at camp. That'll be for breakfast, coffee, oatmeal, a little bit to sip on tonight. So I think on water I'm okay now, and the temp is definitely great, especially down here. But actually I had to go underneath that trail and go all the way up there. So the reality is it's a half hour that way. I'm past some of the dunes. Some have grass, some do not, so I know I'm going to get dirty again. But literally when I took my boots off today, every square inch was full. They're actually tight, and when I dumped them it was a pile of sand that you'd probably have, I don't know, a 12-ounce cup, make a little castle out of. So definitely there. So I'm getting those cleaned up, ready for tomorrow's hike. So pretty nice. I did eventually find that site, but I literally took the pack off and said, all right, let me look at this map. Here's where I was. I was going the right way. It was just never ending, and it is by some aspens, but a good view, but I wouldn't call it greatly sheltered from where I could see. And again, it's these false benches, so you don't get a good view of it. But I went down to the other area and I was like, this is not a camping spot. Had another deer, when I was getting water, go right up there. They're loud when they go through here, and they see me, they take off. So the animal life here is very abundant. All right, so I'm gonna get splashed off a little bit more, head back to camp, and figured it took me 30 to get here, so it'll take me maybe 35, 40 to get back. So I'm gonna get rolling. Here's a shot of the bowl area that I'm in. Probably have been there 90 minutes of light. So just got up. Now I'm heading over my shoulder here, and it's way above that bluff over there. So good 35 minutes from here, but I got out of that bushwhacking. So I'll probably check it one more time tonight when I'm in my tent. All right, so it's about 6:45 at night. Going to do a recap of day one. The reason I'm in the tent now is the sandflies are out. There's not a lot of them, but just enough where they're a pain in the tail. Have the map in front of me. Flip this over. So basically today, parked at the amphitheater, and kind of didn't go up to the highest dune obviously, but I was really kind of on the benches here and kind of dropped down. Went through the creek about 10 times, 12 times, going back and forth, and I am now literally at the very top part of the map here. So literally, it's like a giant crescent that you're doing. I checked my GPS, and I was doing a track, and I got 10.8 miles, and this is really only 7. So I literally did 3 miles of bushwhacking in the forested area, the dunes. So toward the end there, my sight was further than what I thought. But I dropped my pack, took some water, and said, all right, it's got to be up here. Once I found it, I was like, all right. So literally, it just keeps going on benches until you get there. So it's pretty far when you look at the overall map right there. But good day. It's a very beautiful area right now. And so tonight, I'm going to do some reading right now, relaxing. Tomorrow, I hope to get up at a decent hour. And I'm probably going to try to find that road on the way back, just so I get a different view of things as well. I may meander back and forth, but I have a 3.5 hour drive back to Denver. You know, got to mow the lawn, take care of all that, do the errands. So hopefully I'll be out of here no later than 9. Anything earlier is a bonus right there. But breakfast, I'll have oatmeal, coffee, a little bit of water, get everything going. I got my 2 water bottles, so no reason I need to really linger around since I'm not doing another day. Rather, I'm doing my way back. But definitely a really good place, and the temp right now, it's still pretty hot. So I'm probably not going to put on fleece and all that until midnight or so. But I'm probably going to read for about an hour or so and relax. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's Sunday, September 16th, and it's about 8:15 in the morning, and I packed up about a half hour ago, so I did get an early start today. It was a little tough because it's actually pretty cold. So I had my full jacket on, fleece, everything, and it took me a while to get going, but once you get coffee, hot oatmeal, and all that, you kind of get rolling. So I was probably about 2 miles over there. That's where the dunes are at, right through here. So on the way back, I'm going to try to get a different perspective. I'm going to try to find the road and maybe take that for about half the way and then get back into the woods. But I figured since I'm doing it out and back, it's always kind of nice to get perspective. So the sun was just hitting when I was out on the dunes. Over here, it actually was pretty shady again. And as I'm speaking right now, it's just coming up over the mountain over there. So kind of nice to get going a little bit. Definitely chilly. I could see my my breath, but kind of invigorates you and gets you going. So right now, kind of feels like I'm walking through a forested area with a sandy bottom. Definitely high fire danger area here. It's got all those needles everywhere. So even when I was using my stove, I was making sure to clear the area and have everything free from debris. All right, so maybe once I get a shot of the view up here, I'll take another quick video, but good start to the morning. So I'm basically just hiking a bunch of ridges, about a half mile from where I was yesterday. You get a good shot of the dunes from here now. So this is very pleasant hiking over here. Just came across. So this is probably the wash where I started my hike. So you could literally just follow this all the way. If you want to go down, I'm going to stay up high because I think I'm going to kind of zigzag a little bit. But pleasant hiking. I put my GPS away. Usually I'll always, you know, mark my locations and I can track it, but this is definitely a instinct, and it's a crescent moon shape. Just follow it along. So by far the toughest part of this hike, I'd say, was the last 3/4 of a mile. There's a herd of deer. 3 mama, 2 babies. Give me the look over. The other reason why I'm doing this, I think this is where the animals are going to be. And I think I'm going to hold my camera just so I can be ready, because usually it's in this loop and that loop. Turn it on, 30 seconds, everything's gone. But definitely had one of the coolest encounters I've had this year. Yesterday with the coyote giving me the stare down, thinking it was me, and it was instead a big group of deer. They are just starting to head away from me right now. And I could hear quite a few outside my tent last night. It's kind of interesting because when you're out in the woods by yourself, you hear everything. It's very quiet out here. And the scariest sounds actually come from the cutest animals, right? Stepping on twigs, whatever it is, deer, it's gonna crack and all that. So didn't have to turn my light on. Nothing where I was worried about, but when you're kind of out here by yourself, is you never know what's gonna happen. So deer count is now up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 3 kind of small ones and maybe a mother. So I'm definitely going through excellent habitat for them. There's nothing but grass and bedding, and they're all seeing me before I'm seeing them. But I probably won't film them anymore because I've seen them. So don't really know what else I would see out here in the morning. But haven't seen the elk, but definitely The biggest buck I ever saw was yesterday. And there's tracks and prints everywhere. So kind of neat making it your own hike. Again, there's no trail. It's just find your direction and go. There's little cactus everywhere. So you kind of watch out for this stuff. Every now and then you get one that's 6 inches tall, just above your boot will get you. But great hiking in the morning. And I think if you were going to do the dunes, start them at 6 a.m. You know, take what, 3 hours, go up to one, bring your water, come down. You'd be fine, but you would not want to be there in the afternoon. I'm literally just following these guys. They're staying a good 100 yards ahead of me. All right, keep moving on. What I really like about this hike is the topography is constantly changing. The sand dune's right over there, and I'm now getting ready to go into a forested canopy. This may be bushwhacking, so if it is, I'll maybe do it for a half hour and say, all right, enough of this. But what's kind of cool about the hike in the area is it changes a lot. So unless you were to come here and spend your entire day in the dunes, you could experience that. I'm literally just following nothing but animal game trails. You just see tracks everywhere. And it reminds you, this is probably the biggest population of deer size number that I've seen backpacking, which tells you, yeah, obviously there's going to be predators after them as well. So as I walk into this scary place, I guess this would be a good place to stay if you were one. So all right, I'm going to keep my GoPro out just in case I see anything of interest. Okay, I can't believe you can't see me, but a big owl ahead of me. You're going to see. See into that post? Standing right up there. He's turned his head a couple times. That guy's big. And there he goes. And now he's just going up into that big tree. Wow, so that's the first time I saw an owl yesterday, but flying like that. Today I actually saw him. It surprised me because he wasn't looking directly at me. But alright, that's kind of cool. And I'm actually now, I just found, looks like a ranger's outhouse. Don't need to use it, but I was just literally looking at this and I'm like, oh, that's an owl right there. So, man, that's a lowrider for a bathroom. Right now it's smaller than me. Just curious. It's open? Nope, it's nailed shut. Wow, okay, alright, so what, they want to keep bears out or people or whatever it is. So, don't need to use it, but it would have been cool to get a look. Alright, gonna keep marching on. And since I saw that owl, I may head back over that way. Alright, so I popped out onto the Jeep road. And you can see, it's pretty high clearance sand right here. You definitely need to have, you can see fresh animal tracks too, but you definitely want to have at least, I'd say, a foot of clearance. And I saw a sign about tire pressure at 20 psi. So if you have the right type of vehicle, and again, I don't know how this whole trail is, but you could probably come pretty far out here, and I'm sure there's a parking area somewhere, and hike 2 miles and go where I took all day to get to. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, you can tell this, you would not want to be in the wrong vehicle on this trail because it's ups and downs and berms. I'd say a foot of clearance would be the minimum, probably even higher. But definitely easy walking on this, so I'll do this for about 15 minutes, cut back over. Sweet backdrop I'm right now. So over here, get the big mountains. You can even see the aspens at the top, changing color. More behind me here. And when you turn this way, all of a sudden it's like, sand dunes. And you can see on those ones over there, looks like there's even some vegetation growing on them. So time to get out the road. I did it for about a half mile. Yep, it's there. So if you really wanted to and you're in a hurry, you could just hit this thing and hightail it, you know, 6 miles, whatever it is, back. So I'm going to follow this wash right here in front of me. And this just kind of popped out. You can tell no one's been on it. Animal tracks. And again, sense of direction is easy here, but like I said, I'm just kind of zigzagging back and forth, see what I can see, what I haven't seen. But air temp's probably in the 50s, but even on the sand on that trail, again, you can just feel the heat of it. It's the strangest thing, but kind of cool as well. All right, so unless I see something super duper interesting, I'm gonna keep on heading over there. All right, so I'm making my way back closer to the dunes. Kind of cool shot there where the very top of that bluff, there's just those random scattered trees and then nothing else. And as I make my way over here where I'm going now, starting to see some color and some popping of the aspens. But again, giant bowl area that I'm in right now. gorgeous. So literally you just tilt your head 90 degrees and you get a completely different view here and all that. And I still think that backdrop right there is awesome. All right, so I'm bushwhacking, so it's tougher hiking. The road is, I don't know, a half mile that way. And again, if you were tired and it was too hot, you could just hop on that. The sand's definitely hotter, but since I figured this is my last day here and all that, I'm going to kind of get back into the mix of things and see if I can see any more animal life. Everything's definitely up and wandering around now, but not seeing a lot. So I'm going to head back closer to the bluffs over here in the dunes. So on my way back, I'm literally 50 yards from the dunes. Just spooked another owl, so good population here, and they're huge. But here is the dune right in front of me, and that incline has got to be, man, 70%. And you can see some faint tracks of animals that are zigzagging it and using it. It looks like someone has a balloon out here, so I'm now going to hop right back down just in front of the dune field. And it's just littered with animal tracks here. I think most of these are coyote. But the one I saw the other day, he was literally at the top of a bluff looking down. And when he saw something that I originally thought was me, he full sprint and was there and then stopped. That tells me he wasn't really looking at me until he saw me. It was a deer he spooked. And again, the biggest one I've ever seen, but definitely cool. So immediately you can tell it's a little hotter, but I have a little bit of shade here, so I'm going to hug right next to it. But so in the crescent, I'm now probably in the middle of it right now, because again, it's a crescent shape that I did, maybe a little bit more. Kind of in the middle portion of it right now, and just soaking it in before I hop in the car and head back home. So early morning hiking here is very, very pleasant. You can see the dune is literally right through here going up, and again there's levels of it, but I'm just bushwhacking in the wash, which is right below it. And I'm not going to say that it's hard hiking at all. You just got to move with it a little bit. Kind of zigs and zags, so it's definitely a straight line or fast and efficient, but it's kind of fun when you're actually down in it and literally, again, just to the right are these big dunes. But again, you got to go through areas like this. There's game trails, so it is bushwhacking. The only thing is I'd probably put on pants doing this, but very pleasant hiking. It's in the shade, it's low. If there is water, it's going to be down here. Don't need it right now. I think I got enough to get back, but all right, so it looks like I'm entering a harder bushwhack area, so I'm going to keep on pressing on. Well, I actually was not too far from the road, even though I was bushwhacking over there. So Castle Creek, I remember on my map right here, but a nice area where you could park overnight if you had the right vehicle. Got picnic tables over here, and then you could pack in and make your mileage quite small. So get a nice little area. This is probably the hardest packed that the trail I've seen has been. You could take a regular vehicle maybe up to here, but I'll assume there's sand and more stuff down there, and wow, professional restrooms as well. All right, I'm gonna keep going along, and it looks like I see a trail over here. So as long as there's a trail, I think I'm gonna head back in, see what the sign says. No, that's just more of a warning about hot sand and lightning down there. All right, well, what the heck, I think I'll go back in. I literally just came out 10 seconds ago. Now I'm like, we'll go back in. I don't want to follow a road on the way back. All right, so I'm hiking back in the wash, and this is really the only area of the entire park where there's actually rocks in the area. So if you look ahead, there's rocks, and you just sort of pick and choose as you're walking through stuff. But for early morning hiking, I would say it's relatively easy going through here. It's a little more firmer sand, so you're not sinking in, and you can kind of go. And again, the dune field's right over there. Jeep road's probably way over that hill, 3/4 of a mile. I've seen a Ranger car and another Jeep, so I've zigzagged twice to it. Today I think I only saw water once, so again, depending upon the path you choose, and again, the water you do see is 3 inches deep, and it's definitely got that muddy river water taste to it, but it's all right. Definitely want to bring a filter, even if it was a t-shirt. I've got a pre-filter with my SteriPen. That works, but it still has a little bit of a muddy taste to it. There goes the right now. Oh, that's a jackrabbit. Damn, that thing's huge. Dang. So it's amazing the animals that live and go up here and what they do. There's grass up here, but I don't know why he would need to be all the way up there. Almost. All right, I'm gonna let him be, but that's a big guy. So yeah, as you look around the sand here, you can see footprints, and unless there's wind or something, that they stay here. But there's all kinds of animal life out here, so we do see that. Seen a lot of bones as well, but I think now that I'm more in this open area, I'm not going to see a lot. So I would say I'm 2/3 of the way there. I began the hike in the deep sand. I'll probably end it there, but right where I am now in the shade, it literally is 20 degrees cooler versus when you go right over there. So I'm going to hug this on the way back. So maybe I'll shoot a couple more videos. Wrap up. Awesome place to visit. If you really wanted to and you had the right vehicle, you could cheat. There's parking areas over there, so you could do that. I think it would be worth car camping here as well. I think 2 days though, you could pretty much do the park. If you're car camping, you could spend a day on the dunes, sledding, skiing, whatever you want, and then a day hiking. Definitely worth visiting though. So, all right, gonna continue marching on, and I'm almost there. All right, early morning. The sun is fully up now. Nowhere to hide from the rays, and the shade is all gone. But you can see I'm kind of at the base of the dune area, still hooking around. Saw some deer ahead, different species. They looked a little different. I know they saw me. They were a quarter mile away. So I'm actually trying to hike now off the direct sand where there's a little bit of grass. It's just cooler. That, and again, I'm zigzagging. So I feel like I'm making good pace and time, even though I'm intentionally zigzagging and trying to see different terrain. It's the sand now and the incline that slows you down. So, general direction where I'm going. Looks like I'm not too far away. And the deer I saw are probably hiding in the bluff over here. See lots of footprints out here too. So almost there, maybe about a half hour. It's been a really good time coming back today, even though I was intentionally zigzagging. It's hard to describe the sand. So I've hiked in Utah, western Colorado, where you're in washes and there's sand, but usually you're in a canyon, so there's shade at some point. Whereas out here, once you're really exposed, there's nowhere to really hide from it. Awesome place for a trip. I myself do not think I'd want to actually camp on the dunes. They give out 20 permits. When I got here yesterday, I was third in line, and the other 2 sites I wanted were taken. So mine was further than what I wanted. So my original plan was to do more exploring without a pack, but it was still cool. I went there. Once I was there on the way back, since I went off trail, I cut out some distance doing that, and I probably added a lot of zigzagging. But overall, yeah, there's people out in the dune now. Looks like they're all coming back, which is probably pretty smart. But all right, this trip is almost done. So here is the herd of deer right in front of me. Overall, probably saw 20 deer on the trip. My bad thing was the best video that I would have shot all the year. I didn't have the buttons on it right. And again, it was because of all the adrenaline with the coyote, but still cool. So, gonna let them do their thing. Keep going this way. All right, so I am almost back to the car. Just hit road for the first time. So awesome trip, glad I did it. Nice thing about living in Colorado is, again, this was a spontaneous trip. It's been on my agenda for a couple of years, and I've always found a reason. I don't want to go on much of sand. Absolutely worth it. So again, I didn't start packing until 8 p.m. the night before. Usually don't recommend that. Usually I always do it 2. You can lay stuff out in your bed, your basement, or whatever. I got up and I forgot, oh yeah, I don't have a spork and a bowl. Weighs next to nothing, doesn't take up a lot of room, but it's nice to be able to eat with something. If you're to do a lot of bushwhacking, gaiters or pants would be a good idea. I think getting a site that is not in the dune field is probably better. I just think that dune field would be on fire. Neat to see, and you could hike to it from there. But overall, awesome trip. It would be worth coming back to. The really car camping is right over here. You could experience the dunes in the area. So about a 3.5 hour drive back to Denver, but the nice thing is I'll have time to get back today, mow the lawn, get cleaned up, get the gear all cleaned up, etc. Do some errands, whatever it is. So the nice thing with Colorado is you can kind of do that. You didn't need to go to a hotel, anything special. It was just like get in the car and go. So hope this video turns out well. This is probably my last trip of the year, and we'll see you next season.